Sometimes productivity increases, usually productivity increases, they don't come in a uniform way. They then we get some productivity enhancement in one set of activities of production, certain types of goods and services, and then subsequently you get other catching up and so on. So initially maybe here that they have increased their productivity in producing nuts, but nothing has happened in sugarcane production. Well, then there's a pivoting of the production possibilities curve here. But of course what it means in any event is that with the new production possibilities curve, you could attain, except for this point here, complete specialization in sugar, you can now get to a whole bunch of points in here that were formerly unattainable. And so you may end up increasing the output of both goods as a result of such an unbalanced improvement in productivity. Specialization produces gains for, it's a little bit of a stretch here. Generally speaking, for most of us, that's how it works out. But it's not always the case. It's certainly true that if you look at South America, there's been, it's not because they're not participating in world trade. They do. They are. Globalization has reached the shores of South America, for sure. But the problem is that the gains, the increases in incomes and so on, is concentrated on a very, very small percentage of the population. The large population is really not participating in this improved wealth. It's they're getting these international corporations, global corporations, to come in, and they give them all these mining rights and so on. These countries in South America are very rich in resources. They have lots of resources, and they're inviting these global international corporations. And of course, then the local leaders, they steal most of the gains, and very little ends up improving the lives of the people on the streets. So the vast majority of people in South America are not really benefiting from this. And that's a very sad situation, and it's becoming politically very difficult. It's very unbalanced. And that's also why you see these populist leaders becoming presidents, like, what's his name, in Venezuela and Ecuador and so on, right? There's only one country in South America that has managed to significantly reduce poverty in the last 10 years, and that's Chile. And they do it very deliberately. They go out and say, these people, they identify who's poor, and then they do something to improve their lives. And they've been successful. But you have to work at it deliberately in order to achieve it. It doesn't just come. Because the poor people are typically outside what's going on. They're not part of what's going on. So, but specialization can produce gain for all, so there's potential gain for all involved here. It depends on how we distribute the output at the end of the day. And as I said, mostly when we use markets, there's a gain for everybody, right? Both the buyer and the seller have come away with a net economic surplus. Right? Otherwise, you wouldn't buy the T-shirt unless it was priced at less than your reservation price. And the seller wouldn't sell it if he didn't get more from the T-shirt for the T-shirt than his seller's reservation price. So usually there's a gain on both sides of the market. So when you use a market, there's a tendency for the gains to be distributed on both sides. It's not a one-sided thing. But it doesn't always work out that way. So, but there's room for improvement for everybody when you specialize. Specialization uses differences in individual skills. It deepens the skills via practice, and it breaks tasks into simple steps and multiplies the productivity of the workers. So there's different ways in which specialization leads to increased output. Gains from specialization. This is the most important explanation of the differences in income levels between across societies. I mean, you could wonder, certainly it's very strange. Why is it that South America has not kept up? I mean, at the turn of about 1900, Uruguay was the richest country per capita in the world. Uruguay, South America. It's way at the back of the bus now, right? They're definitely not kept up. Why is that? What's the problem? It's not the resources. It's not the people. It's the political and economic organization that's the problem. And the answer is, I think with Uruguay, that they've had a lot of political instability. And when you have political instability, then you don't get foreign investment. And people will send their capital out of the country because there's another revolution coming on, a war coming on. Well, you send your money outside so you don't lose it. And so they end up losing capital. And that's probably the explanation for that.